So, welcome back to Conversations That Truly Matter with Gina Savio. If this is your first time here, I am Gina Savio and I'm a life, mindset, and relationship coach and founder of Inner Alchemy Coaching. In the last episode, I shared some of my journey and coaching philosophy with you. Today, we're going to go deeper. This episode is about relationships, inner work, and how the connection we have with ourselves shapes every other relationship in our lives. Once again, I'll be answering questions from my guide and friend, and I hope as you listen, you will also reflect on the conversations you are having with yourself. So let's begin. Moving on to relationships and inner work. The first question is, your tagline is, because every relationship starts with the one you have with yourself, how does this truth show up in your coaching practice? I believe that the relationship you have with yourself often reflects how you treat the relationships around you, be it your loved ones, your work, or money. Let me give you an example. As a child, receiving compliments or gifts never came very easily to me, as I didn't want to come across as being greedy. Fast forward as adults, receiving compliments is still not very easy for me because I find myself rushing to return it. In fact, many of us find it challenging to ask for money too. And mind you, this is money that is due to us. And why may I say so? Because I think it's fear of being judged as transactional, perhaps, or worse, thinking that we don't deserve it or we're not worthy of the payment. Through coaching, we are able to identify patterns and form reframes so that the stories that we've been telling ourselves no longer have any power or hold over us and thus can be easily released. Okay, moving on to the next question. In your experience, what are the common struggles people face in their relationships and how do they often trace back to self? So, I think a common challenge people face in their relationships is having boundaries in place or setting boundaries in the name of love, in the name of fear, guilt. People end up not having boundaries, or even if they have those boundaries, they're not very consistent in maintaining those boundaries. And as a result, they end up frustrated, they end up resentful, and often find themselves living in victimhood. So I think setting boundaries is very, very important. So moving on to the next question. What's a small but powerful shift someone can make today to improve the relationship they have with themselves? I think language. Just by changing the I have to's to I choose to can be a big step towards improving your relationship with yourself. Let me give you an example. Now, instead of saying I have to work to earn money, if we simply change the sentence to I choose to work to earn money, the impact this small change will have on your energy will be way different now. When earlier you were operating from a place of obligation, where you had no choice, now you are operating from a place of agency, which means you are working out of choice and not compulsion. And that is a far better place to be operating from, I think. So, yes, language. Just by changing the language, you can change or you can improve your relationship with yourself. Yes, moving on to the next question. We finished with that section of inner work. Now we move on to your podcast, my podcast, and visibility. Okay. The question is, why did you decide to create conversations that truly matter, and what impact do you hope it has? I think transformational conversations are the conversations that truly matter. And what do I mean by that? When you have a conversation with yourself, um, um, and as a result of that conversation, a transformation occurs. These are the conversations that are truly very important and should matter. So through this channel, I would like to bring out stories of transformation and mindset shifts that I hope will inspire somebody somewhere to transform his or her life positively, perhaps. Yeah. So moving on to the next question. How do you see your podcast and your coaching working together to help more people live unhidden? Well, the intention and purpose of both my podcast and my coaching is to help more and more people to reclaim their power and to live fulfilling and purposeful lives. And what can be more unhidden and more powerful than this? Okay, so we've come to the close of episode 2. Today, we explored the power of your inner relationship and how it flows into every other area of our lives, from the way we love, to the way we set boundaries, to even the way we receive. In the final part of this series, I will be sharing more about my vision and my podcast, and why visibility and selfhood are at the very core of everything I do. If this conversation spoke to you, please share it with someone who would find it. Please share it with someone who would find it meaningful. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's in next, and follow me on Instagram @ inner_alchemy coaching to stay connected with my work. Until then, keep noticing the stories you tell yourself and keep reminding yourself that the relationship you have with you will always set the tone for you. Take care and stay blessed.